Good evening, parents. This is Hema. I'm from One Special Place. We are here to discuss about strategies to build sentences in kids. So let me introduce myself first. I have been working in CRC Code for 1 year and also One Special Place since the past 2.5 years. I have finished my MSc in Speech Language Pathology from AYUSH and also HR Management from IIM. The following certificates are what I have. I have finished my Introduction to Prompt Therapy, UPT, AVA Certified Professional, NLA Practitioner, and also Play Therapy Practitioner. So nowadays, I see a lot of parents come telling that their child labels a lot of things. Their child labels items, their child labels things, objects, but they are not moving ahead. They're either stuck at nouns or they are just not joining the things that they know of. And they also come with the concern that the child can speak long songs or sing long songs but cannot speak in sentences. And sometimes also that when they try to teach them to talk, they also see the child is having lack of interest when it comes to speech. So what could go wrong? It could also be how we are modeling speech or language to the child. So today we would be discussing about what we can do when the child is having a speech delay and how we can work on it. So, what to do? So, when it comes to parents, the first thing I tell with the parent is try to connect with the child, try to build a level of trust and connection so that the child always comes to you to play or to communicate. And this is where you start with. Once that is ready, you can always start having the connection, build connection by using activities that are of the child's interest. So it could be anything. It could be something basic like, child likes to do puzzles, so you can always engage with them using the puzzles, or could be colors, could be animals, anything. So interest based activities and a lot of sensory movement based activities, because when for a child so young as 2 3 4 years old, it's not easy for the child to sit on a tabletop activity and follow the activities that you say. So mostly say that if you want to model language during movement. So it could be when you go to the park or playing in the swing, you can always model language like I like swing, it's so much fun. And always take choose the child's lead. So let the child itself choose what the child likes. So when you start an activity, what you can do is you can let the child choose a toy and maybe work on it, play with it, and see how the child is enjoying, and slowly build connection based on it. This is what you have to do first. Then it is about how you model language. Modeling language can be done through speech stimulation techniques, improving vocabulary of core words, and model joining these words for them. So, speech stimulation techniques are very basic techniques that parents can do from home, which can be guided by the therapist, or also they can always do with the child. It doesn't require a lot of expertise, but you might need some guidance. Then they are the core words. Core words are the words that are there in our vocabulary, which are used 80% of the time. It could be verbs or it could be simple words like turn and how turn is used, like turn it up, turn it down, turn around. So just one word can be used in different ways, and we have to model them joining these words for them. Talking about speech stimulation techniques, these would be the techniques that we would be talking about. It would be modeling, parallel talk, self talk, extension, and expansion. So, modeling is, when the adult demonstrates the target language that you want the child to imitate. So, it could be, when the child is playing, so you can just model, I like to play. Or when the child is eating food, ooh, this food is yummy. So, you can model things that way. But here, the child would imitate or would not imitate. So, you should always keep the demands low when it comes to the child. Let the child pick up in his own pace. So modeling is a great way for the child to learn by listen and doing an activity. Best done when the activity is, interest based. You can see the child would pick up a lot of language this way. So for example, here I have written that, the parent says, I want milk whenever the child looks at milk. And maybe the child eventually would come to imitate want milk. Then there is this technique called parallel talk where the adult narrates their action and experiences. Okay, so adult narrate the child's actions and experiences. So it could be very simple as the child would be, jumping on the couch. So maybe the parent would narrate, "Oh, you're jumping on the couch. It's so much fun." So it's like the parent is constantly telling what the child is doing, and the child is listening. So here the child always observes the parent and picks up language based on that. Followed by it, there is something called self talk. This is very similar to parallel talk, but here what happens is the child is a maybe it could be done when the child is engaging with the parent, but the parent describes what they are doing. So possibly, mom can be saying, mama is closing the doors, or dad can be say, I am chopping the veggies. So they're just modeling, or they're just talking about what they do, and possibly the child is looking at them that time, and child would pick up the language based on that. Then comes prompting. Prompting is when adult provides a cue or a hint for the child to say the word. So possibly, when the child is looking at a cookie, the parent would say, "What do you want?" And the parent would also answer, "I want a cookie." But this is where you would expect the child to repeat exactly the same way, prompting. Okay. So prompting is where the child is expected to repeat as and then. But till now, what we have said is this is where the child observes the parent and tries to understand the language and the context it has been used. The other techniques are extension. This could be very simple phrases. So once the child starts talking, child would be compiling small words. It could be like doggy run. So the parent would tend to, add on information on it. Oh, doggy runs fast, or doggy is running fast. So this is something called extension. Then comes expansion. Expansion would be when an adult repeats the child utterances, but they also add extra additional vocabulary along with the correct grammar. So this example could be the child saying, me want milk. Then the parent would say, "Yes, I want milk. I want to drink some more milk." So this is where the parent would expand with extra vocabulary and also with some extra language. Then comes the core words. This is where the parents don't tend to teach. So, what I have noticed with a lot of parents is they tend to use a lot of tabletop activities, possibly use flashcards, and just teach them the name of each items. So, it could be teaching them the name of animals like, monkey or elephant, that's all. But they don't teach them how to add. So, possibly, the lack of core words is why the child is not having enough vocabulary to expand the sentences. So here what I would say is core words is like, around 80% of the words that we regularly use, and adding this would be easier for the child. So for example, even a verb called go, come could be used like daddy come, daddy go. Adjectives would be good or little, like the cookie is good, it's a good cookie, little boy. So the child would learn to add these core words to the existing vocabulary. This makes it easier for the child to pick up and expand the language that the child already has. So, what you have to do is you have to work not just on labeling things but also comment on things that would help in expanding the vocabulary of the child. So you can always model prepositions, pronouns, adjectives, articles, conjunctions. Adjectives could be something, qualitative or quantitative in nature. So qualitative could be something like it's beautiful, it's pretty, it's pink, it's red. Quantitative could be something like little, more, much. So prepositions can be based on the positions, like it's on top, apple on top, mm, toy on top, like that. And similarly, articles and conjunctions can be used. And other thing the parents should always start with is the use of declarative language. So declarative language are the types of sentences where you're just providing statements or information. So here what you're doing is you are not expecting the child to say anything, whereas you're only modeling what you expect the child to say. Okay, so it could be, the tree is green, the tree is big, I like pizza, green is my favorite color, mommy likes chopping, I like to stir my food. So anything like that, so it's just any statements that gives information. So here you are not giving any questions, you are not giving any prompts, it's just language for the child to pick up. It is just language for the child to pick up. Followed by what the other parents should do is improve the parent child interactions. So to improve the parent child interactions, what parents have to do is start using simple language and short sentences. They could use phrases that are simple for the child to pick up. It could be something like, it's an apple, it's running, let's go out. Simple language so the child can pick up on it and expand it. And whenever child comes with an utterance, possibly the child would come say water. Instead of asking the child then and there to say give me water, what you can say is validate the language. Oh, you want water, let's take water, that's all. So first start by validating the existing language the child has, and then expanding on it, because correction might lead the child to believe that possibly they are doing something wrong when it comes to utterances, and they might pull two steps back when they're trying to make them move ahead. Then it would be low demands. Reduce the demands when it comes to communication, because more the child enjoys communicating with you, the more child will say. Increasing demands might lead the child to feel very frustrated with speech when the child is actually trying really hard to speak up. Then encourage the child to use descriptive words by commenting on things they see or do. So, possibly when you take the child out for a walk, what you could do is you can always ask the child or tell the child things like, oh, it's a very big tree. The swing is so nice. Someone sitting on the swing. Use open ended questions where the child is able to, comment and tell about his emotions and what they see. Then also, parents, what you have to do is you have to use a lot of gestures and facial expressions to make the communication quite engaging for the child. Always create opportunities for the child to practice their language skills. So best way to create opportunities is try to, play is a excellent way that you can always increase the language. Play through child-led sensory motor, uh, movement based, and also interest based activities. You could also read books, you could also sing songs, and involve them with a lot of activities with other kids as well. Always give positive feedback, and do not rely on the correctness of what the child is saying. Just try to validate it, and always give positive feedback and praise the effort that the child is doing. Apart from that, focus on language stimulation activities and try practicing and repeating certain words every now and then. Because the more repetition, the more times the child hears the language or the word used in different contexts, the easier the child would feel to pick the language. And always be patient. Do not expect the child to answer you right then and there. It takes longer for a lot of people and also a lot of adults to respond. So give child enough time to process language and respond. And also, when you feel that even after all this the child isn't giving seek guidance from a speech therapist on what to do, and also discuss with lot of videos, a lot of play and activities how to seek guidance and how to go ahead with the therapy. Thank you. I hope this has been helpful to all of you. And if you have any questions, do reach out to us in one special place. You can also email us through our website or our email address, or also reach out to us through our admin team. Thank you so much for joining.